Hello everybody, Princess and Bear here, and we're back.
Be sure to eat plants.
No, we're not eating plants in this video.
Eat plants.
You didn't hear the girl.
We have a beautiful black-eyed-peas hummus with some bread. I've never had black-eyed-peas hummus before. It's salty, but it still has like that hummus flavor to it. This is probably one of my most favoriteest hummuses that I've ever had.
We go from having like the princess's nice plated hummus to these pork belly biscuits. So like slow roasted pork belly on like a buttermilk biscuit with like this topping and the sauce. It's a weird thing to say, but it reminds me of my grandmother's house, but in a good way. Like it's just one of those like flavors that like takes you back, like Ratatouille style. Movie, not the food. 5 out of 5 plus. This is on my must-have list if you come here.
I got the Hurricane. Let's see if it rocks me. Very, 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 very flavorful. I don't even taste the 151. That's why it's dangerous. So I would give it 4 to 5 shamrocks.
You go from a hurricane to a typhoon and you get this little petite looking thing compared to that. Hopefully I don't get too blown away. Much more my speed. It's still on the sweet side, but the alcohol balances it out. 3.5 out of 5 plus. It's a good start to the night.
Let's break down the claw rating.
How I rate those is like, I know the scale goes from actually, you would think from 1 to 5 claws, but there's also a 0. But basically the rating starts in the middle. Average food.
C is what I think
yes,
of.
is 2.5.
Oh, for me it's a 3. So maybe that's why our ratings are never the same.
That's 2.5.
Yeah, for me a C is average is a 3.
No. Well, for me, 2.5.
But that's fair. I think 2.5 makes more sense.
Is good food that I both like, but I wouldn't go and specifically order that. It's like it was sustenance and I enjoyed it. It's probably going to be kind of forgettable. Going down the scale, once you get to a 2, it's like, I ate this because it's technically food, but I didn't like this. Once you get down to a 1 is I ate this because I bought this. I would definitely did not enjoy this, and I will definitely avoid this ever again. Now, if I throw something up or spit it out because it's just completely inedible, or I just hate it that much, which has happened a few times on this channel, you get a 0. If I paid for food and I can't eat it, you're getting a 0.
I think a 1 would be us committing to our mistake.
Definitely.
To say that I am excited for this dish is an understatement. We have impossible chorizo with a beautiful corn and an avocado cream, 100% plant-based with a beautiful cheese. To say that my mouth is salivating before eating this is an understatement. I am so excited right now. Excited. This is the best chorizo on Disney property. The Cellier. Oh man, coming with the heat too. Wow, this is so beautifully balanced. 4.5 out of 5 chorizos.
You have these delicious looking charred, shiny possible meatballs, the beautiful cream on top, this delicious looking street corn on the bottom. This has the little charred look with the herbs on it. Looks convincing. They put a lot of love into getting the chorizo seasonings just right, and it definitely shines through because you get that explosion of like chorizo flavor in the beginning and then that slow burn in the back end. And then the crema, the street corn, goes a long way to selling the rest of the dish. It sort of lingers in your mouth the way that chorizo does. I'm extremely convinced. If you had told me this was a normal chorizo meatball, I wouldn't have questioned you at all. This is top tier chorizo. For me, this is a must-have. 5 out of 5 plus. I'm sold. Believe it or not. I was skeptical because chorizo is one of those like very specific flavors, but this 100%. Most people will not believe this is plant-based.
You know tacos are legit when they use 2 corn tortillas. Super flavorful. I would come here and just get these tacos. I'm not a big fan of the tofu dish here, but this, order 2 and just make that your meal.
I love the touch here with like the 2 different plant-based cheeses, little radish slices, the avocado, cilantro. This is made with care. A little squirt of lime brings up all the flavor, goes off the cilantro, the cheeses, and the impossible meat. That's a bite. You get me a platter of these, I would mow through these and then go right 5. 4 out of 5 plus.
I wish that Orlando had one vegan burger that was as hefty as this Beyond Burger. We eat a lot of Beyond Burgers on this channel, and this one looks beautifully crafted. This is a standout burger. I would come here and get this. This is a huge win. I'm gonna give it 4.5 out of 5 baked cows.
That's definitely an unhinge your jaw type burger. Oh, the Beyond doesn't taste that different than any other Beyond Burger we've ever had. But it is, and I agree with the Princess, perfectly cooked. What makes this Beyond Burger different is the toppings and the sauce, all made with care and attention. So the crispy hollies give it a nice like little mouth tingle, but not too hot, so not super spicy hollies. They're deep fried. It melts with the cheese and the sauce. Crispy lettuce and tomato make it feel like a full burger. So even though you know that Beyond flavor, it doesn't feel like you're just eating another plant-based burger because it actually tastes like a burger that somebody actually took their time to make. I'm gonna give that a solid 4 out of 5 claws. This is probably the best Beyond Burger we've had.
To the Brew House Burger. This is messy. It's a better version of the Regal Eagle sandwich. 4 out of 5 Beyond Burger cows.
So here we have a place actually trying to do something with Beyond Burger. Now this is a burger cross section. You have a little bit of everything in here. Lettuce, tomato, a super juicy Beyond Burger, pepper jack, plant-based cheese, and then the jackfruit with some onion on like a bun, not like a regular bun. And when I say dressing up Beyond, this is what I mean. Points for even trying. These are well-placed fixings on a well-placed burger. It actually makes me wish that I got a burger, not a other burger. Because now I'm ranting and I don't know what the hell I'm talking about, but that's good. 4.5 out of 5 claws. If you like Beyond Burgers or plant-based burgers, this is definitely a must try.
We have a vegan shepherd's pie. This one has farro in it. We have like a burnt onion gravy. The crisp on it is like perfect. Some of the veggies are not cooked all the way through, but they're seasoned so beautifully that it's not a big deal. Probably one of my favorite shepherd's pies I've had on property.
That burnt onion gravy is definitely a star. Sort of ties everything together. It gives it like a strong character and personality. The textures are good. I do wish the veggies were a little bit more cooked. The mashed potatoes are great. The char on top of those is perfect. Shepherd's pie without having to put in like an impossible meat or Beyond Meat or some other meat alternative. It's very solid. I need that 4 out of 5 claws. I would order that on my own. Most definitely.
If you want a restaurant that consistently does not use all meat, this is the place for you. This is a beautiful dish. I'm gonna give this a 5 out of 5. It's like on the necessity. Princess necessities? We're not making that a thing. But if it was a thing, it would be on that list.
I don't even know if I can describe, even though it's all veggies, artichoke, and mushroom, and then romesco sauce, and red pepper, and tomatoes. and the mushroom all work together to give it like a, just like meaty in the form of texture, like feeling, and on a nice, deep, savory taste, combined with like that flaky puff pastry crust. This is amazing. This tastes wonderful. Even for me, I would say this is a 5 out of 5 claws on the bare necessities list. I would devour this whole plate and then ask for another.
It just like melts. It has like just that smooth, like full melted cheese consistency.
It's definitely the same Mott's flavor that we're used to from Mykonos, but like the consistency is like
On point.
spot on.
Oh yeah, this is a huge win.
If you can think of the best cheese you've had on like it's like the melty cheese you had on a pizza, that is like almost a carbon copy. I'm impressed. For me, that's definitely a 5 out of 5 claws.
I would agree. I'm glad that there's dishes that we couldn't have previously that now we are able to enjoy.
Made possible by Just Egg.
Much appreciate.
Hashtag not sponsored at all.
Well, and Via Life for the cheese.
Yes. But I'm going to give this 3.5 out of 5 claws. I would definitely have this again. I am curious about this spinach and artichoke one that you mentioned.
It's my favorite.
Their tempura veggies. Sauce is amazing. I love the black beans. This is a really incredibly, surprisingly delicious dish. I'm gonna give this 5 out of 5 cauliflowers. It is top tier delicious.
This is definitely something you can tell was planned. This wasn't just I had this in the back and I threw it on a plate. This is an actual dish that he prepared to make for people with all sort of dietary needs. And I'm all for this. This is an amazing dish with no alt meat, awesome flavors, colors, and plating. You can't ask for better than this. And it top Bluezoo, no less. Disney, you gotta step your game up because some of these restaurants are putting you all to shame. It's a 5 out of 5 claws on my bare necessities list. Those flavors, I don't know, it's back to the princess. Restaurants, and you put a big colored box on a menu, I know what you're doing, and you got me. So I got trying out their rotisserie meal. It's a half a chicken with 2 sides. So I got red beans and I got beans and rice and plantains, which really feels like 3 sides instead of 2. Obviously, you don't want a beans with rice, but it feels like 3 sides. The chicken looks amazing, and you got 2 little dips with it. I've had like a store-bought like Mojo rotisserie chicken before, but nothing that packed the flavor of the meat that this has. The chicken itself is juicy, well cooked, seasoned. The skin isn't the only thing that's good here. It's also the meat is delicious. This is how you cook chicken. Other restaurants, Chicken Guy, Smokehouse, Regal Eagle. This is chicken. This is how you cook chicken. So chicken on its own for me is a solid 5 out of 5 claws. That is good chicken, bar none. This is what Caribbean food is supposed to taste like.
The one dish I have been dreading the most, the one that we like the least. I really didn't want to try this again, and I don't understand why it's back. It's, it's a little bit more full than it was last year. That's, an improvement. I still don't understand why there's only the crust on top and then just innards and nothing else in here. I'm gonna give that a 2 out of 5 pot pies. It's being nice.
I am also a child of Georgia. This is not a pot pie. There is no base. It is just soup with a pastry topping. And I feel rather insulted, just like I did last year, that you even refer to this as a pot pie. Because to me, this just feels like a joke. It tastes how it looks. Somebody's incredibly over-seasoned vegetable soup with a pastry cup as a lid. 1.5 out of 5 claws. I'm slightly biased, but take it as you will. You plant-based people, if you're really that hungry, don't eat this. And a pretzel or something.
So I have the vegan gluten-free donut for my bread option in this giant like punzi style skillet. This belongs at Tutoria Inferno.
Disney, I worry about you and the size of these things. This is almost comical. Luckily, they're not real cast iron skillets. They're plastic. Your kids aren't going to hurt themselves. But like this tiny donut in this huge fake skillet. It's peak comedy right here.
Next we have a Mickey waffle and a Stitch waffle. They're both the same. Usually I take off Mickey's ear, but I've never really had a Stitch waffle. I usually only get the Mickey's, so I'm gonna bite into this one.
Crunchy, delicious, stitchy, cooked decently.
I am all about Stitch supremacy in all things. There is no better Disney character anywhere, and you won't change my mind. A nice soft waffle, not as crisp as the Princess waffles were. Good little dunk. It definitely tastes like a more traditional waffle. Really up to preference, but I still say better than most of the Mickey waffles I've had. 3 out of 5 plus.
I'm gonna, oh my gosh, look at this. That is just a huge piece of sausage with some just egg. Cheers.
I would experiment with this at home. I wouldn't proactively come here for this, but I do kind of like the creativity of putting jackfruit in just egg. I would have never thought of that myself.
I feel like how the jackfruit and just egg looked is how I expected the brisket and eggs to look. It definitely looks more like brisket on this side than non-plant-based version for sure. Pretty. The jackfruit was a little bit more seasoning, and the just eggs just a tiny bit runny. I don't really like it all that runny, but it's definitely a unique option, but it's not bad.
Wow. The seasoning on that jackfruit is amazing. I think that is the best seasoned jackfruit I've ever had. With the citrus and the combination of the avocado and the sauce with the bread. This is like probably in my top 3. This is my top 3 favorite avocado toasts now. Forget the skillet, forget the frittata. Go with the avocado toast that doesn't have anything else in it. This is incredible. This is a 4.5 out of 5 avocados. This gets the job done. I just wish there was more.
You can barely see the avocado. Like, if you told me there was no avocado on this toast, I would believe you, but you got some bits of radish, the arugula on here. I'm curious to how breakfast jackfruit's going to go, because Trail's End didn't do it so well. That is what I would call a well-seasoned jackfruit with a nice bite. There is avocado on there, but it's like a light avocado spread. I would say, if anything, to balance out the jackfruit, it needs just a little bit more avocado on it. The flavor, regardless, is definitely there. That is a 4 out of 5 flowers. It's another solid piece of avocado toast.
I'm pretty sure that outside of House of Blues, this is the only place that you can get a double Impossible Burger. Look at that beautimous cross-section right there. I love it. I love it, love it.
I do like the flavor palette. The sweet pickle is good. The mayo's good. The cheese is good. Lots of Impossible. The onion kind of helps. Nice little balanced flavor. I think I would give it a 3, maybe a 2.5 out of 5 Impossibles. It's not the best that I've had. It's also not like the worst, so it's like right in the middle.
You know how bears are about crab cakes. This came out, I was a bit confused, probably like you guys are, looking at this thing. Luckily it comes with instructions, because this is, again, you know how I rage against the size of sliders. This is not a slider. But apparently what you do is you take out a little straw piece here, and then it squishes the slider form, which actually, I'm not gonna lie, it actually works at that point. You got little pieces of crab, you got some what looks like plant-based remoulade, some onion, and some tomato. And it's actually like slider size. I approve. If you're a crab person, you're a seafood person, you're gonna like this. I think this is a good light park lunch. 4 out of 5 plus.
You can't really see the vinaigrette. It looks lightly dressed. I see some onions in there. I assume you're supposed to like mix this up. It's definitely giving me like electric umbrella vibes.
Too soon.
I do miss the lighthouse sandwich from Columbia Harbor House. That was really good. It doesn't really need candied walnuts because of how sweet it is. I would give this salad 2 out of 5 lettuce leaves.
Quick service lobster roll. There are so many ways for this to go epically wrong. First off, too much lettuce. It's not buttered. It's barely toasted. And it's drippy already. This thing better taste good, Disney. We're gonna have some words. You guys know I am about my seafood. It's literally just lobster shredded with a bunch of mayo and like barely any seasoning. It needs pepper, it needs a lot of things. I would not order this again. I would rather have the princess salad than order this. A 2 out of 5 plus. It's a fail for me, Disney. That's a fail.
We have a house-made rigatoni with bolognese, seasonal vegetables, roasted hen of the woods mushrooms, and a plant-based egg yolk. This is a very interesting looking pasta. I guess I'm gonna like destroy the yolk because I think that's what you're supposed to do. I'm curious to see, oh look, it bleeds like an egg. How did they do that? I'm just gonna mix it all together. This is a very interesting looking bolognese. I don't think I've ever seen a bolognese like this before in my life. Probably one of the best bologneses I've had on property, without a doubt. I would come here for this pasta.
We have this perfectly plated piece of like a roasted cauliflower enhancement. It looks like a fairy pool from like the Legend of Zelda almost. Those flavors are amazing. I never tasted cauliflower that held in like that much liquid smoke and seasoning without sort of falling apart, especially when they're already sitting in a sauce. I think if they offered a bigger portion of this, for people that had any sort of like ethical issue with the bolognese, this would be something for the plant-based people to definitely get. This is a 5 out of 5 flaws. That's my bare necessities list.
Here we have the pasta option. This is a vegetarian pasta, but it is indicated as vegan, and I always hate it when they mark a vegan option as vegetarian because it's so confusing. Just say vegan. Vegetarians know what vegans are, and vegetarians know that they can eat that food, so just say vegan. Don't come here for this. This is like a 1 out of 5. This is a bad pasta. This is worse than boat houses pasta.
This is like something that you would make when you're like 2 days to a paycheck. And you have like, this is what I got in the fridge. I'm gonna dump some oil on it, dump some seasoning so that sticks, and hey, I've got that asparagus, tomato, and zucchini that's going bad. Let's throw that in there too. Ooh, I have mushrooms. And you get kind of creative and you don't really get anywhere. I don't know where I'm going with this, but it's an oily mix. 1.5 out of 5 flaws. It's just barely edible. I'm gonna try the catfish on its own. The breading's not too thick. It looks nice and flaky. The breading leaves much to be desired. It's a nice flaky fish. It's cooked. It's like a weaker than powder sauce. I'm not feeling it. I'm glad that you can get food for a price. I'm not paying a huge amount for this, but I'm not really in love with this, as you can tell from my demeanor. I hate to say this, but maybe go to a house. 2.5 out of 5 plus.
Pear is not necessarily my jam, but I will drink it because it's vegan. So cheers to the vegans. Oh yeah. Oh, that's lovely. 4.5 out of 5 pears. For somebody that doesn't like pear, this is a beautiful, refreshing sake that I am going to enjoy.
I tell you that I like salad. I think some of you think I'm kidding, but salad in all its forms. If it's green and you can put it on the plate, I will devour it with no shame. And now it looks like seagrass, and it basically is seagrass, but eat your vegetables, kids. Overall, what I chose, I'm impressed. This place is definitely like authentic fresh sushi with a nice atmosphere and a beautiful view. And then sake, you can't go wrong.
This is the beautiful pomegranate acai drink. It has vitamin water in it with vodka. I love pomegranate. I love acai. Acai is a superfood. I would give this a 4.5 out of 5 pomegranates. I will probably drink a couple of these.
No, I had never considered vitamin water as an actual mixer to an alcoholic drink, but this is kind of low-key refreshing. 4 to 5 plus. I would drink a bucket of this, which kind of scares me. I got a cocktail, which is basically like a space old-fashioned. It's got bitters, honey, pineapple, Maker's Mark. Sounds almost made for me. Thomas, if you're watching, I know you probably are. This one's for you. Pineapple with the Maker's Mark and the honey is sort of just all work together. It's a nice, smooth, drinkable drink. The bitters on the back end, but they're not harsh at all. That's a 5 out of 5 plus. If you're a bourbon drinker, you gotta get this going on my list, 100%.
I got the Melba with peach, red berries, and almonds, and a shot of Grand Marnier. I'm not exactly sure what I need to do with this. I guess just pour it over the grape. I commit to my mistakes, people. Let's cut you down the center so you can see nothing of this innards. Cheers to 50 liquidy ears. It just tastes like straight Grand Marnier. I should have just drank the shot.
Is that? What did you hit
Usually one for like stars and celebrities, but that was probably the first time I ever completely just geeked out. Like I didn't even know what to say. Like 100% geeking out right now.
This is like 3 times bigger than I thought it was going to be. This is an incredibly creative, incredibly large, incredibly delicious dish. And I absolutely would 100% recommend this to anybody that wanted some like nice, good, quick service. I will give this 4.5 out of 5 pitas.
Voila. This, you know, I'm always curious, like when a place says, it's like, hey, we're going to give you half a roast chicken. I'm expecting like maybe a sizable 5 with a leg. This is legitimately half a chicken. And it's lemon tarragon roasted. Lemon is not always going to be my first choice when I cook my chicken in. But I understand that lemon on chicken is a popular flavor. Now, instead of being a grizzly bear on this, I'm actually going to be a distinguished gentleman and cut into it like a civilized folk would. Crispiness to that skin is better than any potato chip you're ever going to get. It's not like that hard, but like you get like that crispness when you bite into it. The char and the roast and the skin really soaks up that lemon tarragon. Honestly, it's not as strong as I expected, but that's a good thing for me. Chicken is juicy, nice and seasoned, and overall, very well done. I would give this a roast chicken over any rotisserie you got at any grocery store or sort of like other quick service place. I was expecting garbage, and this is actually kind of good. Space 220.
It's like a Mars 2112 if you were at New York at that time period meets a coral reef. The floor plan is very much coral reef in space.
I can definitely feel that.
Yeah, it's not worth $80 for the food, but it was still good, and I enjoyed the drinks, so I can't complain.
I definitely think you're paying for half of that price is atmosphere, the rest is food. I would say it's a restaurant if you want to treat yourself, treat the family, and you guys are like space nerds, then by all means, do it.
We're space nerds.
Spoil yourselves, have fun. It's a restaurant all about having fun.
That was some Interstellar-ish.
You're not going for the food. I hope not, anyway. It's a 10.
Overpriced?
Very much.
Decent, I guess.
I've never paid so much for a meal that I barely liked.
It was more expensive than Haleo,
Yes.
which is saying something. Not as good, though.
For what
Definitely
we got, plus the 2 pictures, it was $270
$30.
with tip.
Oh, yeah.
Because we always tip. Don't beat
Which
us
is
first.
probably more expensive than most, even more than we've spent at California Grill.
I would say unless you have some inkling need to go to this place, avoid.
Beautiful brookie. This is a chocolate chip cookie infused with brownie, and then we have a chocolate chip ice cream, 100% vegan. This looks absolutely incredible. If only Disney had desserts this amazing. This is probably one of the better desserts I've had this year. I'm gonna give this 4.5 out of 5 brownies.
I will definitely never turn down any sort of dessert cookie because I love cookies. But I am extremely happy for like this plant-based ice cream and the chocolate syrup, and then the cookie slash brownie. The cookie plus brownie gives it like this almost like fantastical consistency, nice and smooth with the chocolate chip and cookie. It's like the intense flavor of a cookie with the consistency of a brownie. The contrast of the warm cookie with the cold ice cream is a classic dessert. And even I, a dessert hater, cannot ignore how amazing this is. And plant-based nonetheless, and no part of this tastes plant-based. That's a 5 out of 5 clause for me.
And here we have a cowboy hat dessert. We got the vegan ice cream, same cookies from Sci-Fi. This is a good dessert. I would put this in my top 5 favorite desserts. I actually think this is a reason to come here. 5 out of 5 desserts. I'm shocked.
This is it's a thing. Somebody put a gigantic chocolate me in the middle of a cowboy hat. Definitely bacon. It's one of those things where I don't care if I make a mess. And these are desserts I can live with. It's a bare necessity. 5 out of 5 calls. So, hit the notification bell in case you want to see other videos like this. And
We have new videos 5 days a week.
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Saturday.
we will see you soon.
Be sure to subscribe
You heard the girl.
and like this video. And watch Shang-Chi. And you know what? Watch The Eternals too, so that you can see how much work Kumail Nanjiani put into getting ripped. And then they don't even show his abs.
She would literally die on that hill, but you heard the girl.